It's a nice fall day here in Durango for this edition of the RMAC Showcase. Now, this year's RMAC Cross Country Championships will take place in Chadron, Nebraska in late October. And while there's a good chance the weather will be cold at that time in Nebraska, it's nothing compared to riding your bike through Alaska. He's yet to step foot on a course for Fort Lewis, but Wilson Hogendorn has already put in some serious miles. A freshman from Alaska, Hogendorn rode his bike from Anchorage to Durango before the school year started, despite his family's pleas.
They didn't really say much until they were like, wow, he's actually really gonna do it. So I got about a week out, and then they started asking me, and they didn't want me to go, but I just sent it still.
Wilson averaged about 70 to 80 miles a day over the course of several weeks to complete his trip.
I almost bought a car in Whitehorse, Yukon. I was so close. It was like a $2,400 truck. My butt was hurting like crazy. I was thirsty, sunburned, but I stayed in a hostel for a couple nights and felt better.
A sunburn wasn't his only challenge, as technology didn't always help along the way.
I was going from Wyoming into Idaho. Google Maps gave me a route, so I was like, I'll just follow that route, and it ended up being 40 miles of soft dirt washboardy roads, and I did 117 miles that day, and I was already tired, didn't sleep good the night before. There was a bunch of cows on the road, and I didn't know how to handle that. Saw snakes, it was kind of cool.
But now the big question is, would he do it again?
Someday later on, maybe not soon.
We're going to head inside to warm up just a little bit. This month's ARM Academic Student Athlete feature is a basketball player who's rapidly rising through the Skyhawks record book. If you're a fan of RMAC basketball, then you know the name Rasmus Bach, an all-conference performer each of the past 3 seasons. It's no surprise when number 12 fills it up.
One of the first things that Coach Petrak told me was, Raz, if you do the right thing, you're going to have a chance to break the scoring record. He always thought I was good enough. He always said it, and I think the biggest thing is talking your dreams into reality.
And that reality is very close. Rasmus is less than 500 points from breaking the record, or about 16 points per game for the next year, a number he's averaged over the last 2 seasons.
For me, that would just mean that all my years of hard work from since I started playing basketball at 8 till now as a 22-year-old, it's starting to pay off. It's starting to show that all those hours in the gym, hours in the weight room, pushing yourself to the limit, it does pay off at the end.
I played with the current all-time leading scorer, DeAndre Lansdowne, and so I'm kind of excited to see how this year plays out with Raz, and as he inches closer to that record, and it's going to be fun to see if he breaks it. And obviously it's a team game, but there are individual stats in this as well, and excited to see how he does it.
This shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, as both of his parents were Olympians in European handball at the Sydney Games in 2000.
My biggest memory is we just had those scooters, the little razors, and we had a little pass, and we were just riding around the whole Olympic Village to where the athletes stayed, to the games. And
Rasmus is also a star in the classroom, where he's been selected to the RMAC's all-academic team the past 3 seasons.
And I think watching them from when I was 12 to when they stopped playing and seeing sport's great, but it's gonna come to an end at some point. So they definitely really instilled that sport's not everything in life.
Best of luck to Rasmus this year as he goes for that scoring record. To the soccer pitch, where the Skyhawks visiting CSU Pueblo to open up the conference portion of the schedule. First half, the Hawks get a call in the box, which leads to this easy penalty kick strike from Churchill Onumanu as the visitors take a 1-0 lead. Fort Lewis was peppering the Thunderwolves keeper the entire game, but Tyler Harvey is going to win this battle as he challenges the attacker nicely. And Max Fuentes, a super sub for Fort Lewis, as he eventually gets off a tough shot that finds the back of the net for a 2-0 advantage. The Skyhawks would add 2 more tallies in the second half as they go on to earn the 4-0 victory.
That's good. It feels like get the monkey off our back a little bit, and I think you can see even as the game went on, we started to get a little more confidence, and hopefully that carries on. But I think we've been getting better every time we come out, and that's part of the goal is to keep getting better.
We're almost done on this edition of the RMAC Showcase. When we come back, the top 5 plays from around the conference. Number 1's a doozy. Don't touch that dial.